Good afternoon, everybody. Davey Dog here, Dave Foster, Fontaine Family, the real estate leader. I'm a full-time professional realtor in the state of Maine, and I help my clients' dreams come true through the purchase and sale of real estate. And today I'm here with Wendy Flynn, who's representing Guiding Eyes for the Blind out of New York. And Wendy, thank you for being here today with me.
Nice to see you, David.
Yeah, and I kind of wanted to go over a couple of things about Guiding Eyes and your experience with them. And so what does Guiding Eyes do in general?
So Guiding Eyes provides guide dogs free of charge to people that are sight impaired. And so they do that end of things. They do the professional training part. They match the dog with a sight impaired person and teach them skills, but they also do a canine development center, and they do all the breeding end of it too.
Right, so they breed the dogs there, and they then give them to people like you, who
Yes.
are, what do you call it?
I'm a raiser.
You're a puppy raiser.
Yes.
And so how many dogs have you raised?
I have my fourth dog that we're on now. We started in 2014 with
Wow.
our first one. Yeah.
And how old are they when you get them, and how old when you send them back?
So in general way, I mean, it can be a little different for certain circumstances, but in general, it's about 8 weeks old when you get a puppy. And I know, so sweet.
Yeah.
And then about 16 months old or so when you give them back.
And you give them back. And I think that's the thing that I've heard from people, that they always go, oh, I could never give it back.
Yes.
And I wonder if anybody who's been a puppy raiser has ever not said that. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So
You
what's
think
it
about
like
it from
when
the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, especially the first one, you're not quite sure how you're going to do.
Yeah.
And it is hard. But the whole thing of helping somebody else and seeing the result of that connection, that what you've laid groundwork for, go on to help a person it's amazing.
So have all your dogs gone to be guide dogs?
No, my first dog is a healing autistic dog.
Oh.
And the second dog, Orchid, she is a bomb sniffing dog. My third dog, Zed, he is a guide.
Wow. Okay. So one of them out of the three
Correct.
became a guide dog.
Yes.
So is that pretty typical that a lot of the dogs don't become guide dogs?
That is typical. About 60% don't become guide dogs.
Okay.
Yes. And so Guiding Eyes works with other nonprofits that they do a different career.
Yeah. And the ones who don't make it through a career may get, what happens to them if they don't make it through that career? Into a different career.
Into a different career. Raisers are offered to have the dog back if they'd like.
Yeah.
If not, they have a long list. Last time I knew it was like four years long
Yeah.
of people who would love to buy the dog from them. Yeah.
I think they may have working on a new program too, where they're offering to children of people who are blind. Is that correct?
Yes,
Or
the children are
sight-impaired?
blind,
The
and
children are blind, okay.
yes, and they are offering, I believe it's called Hospital Light,
Okay.
and they connect these lovely dogs.
Yeah.
They have to have the right temperament as well.
Yeah.
So they offer them to families in order for them to have the child who's sight impaired to be more comfortable with dogs in their life. It may promote them to realize that a dog can change their life and as an adult when they're on their own.
Cool, and that's a newer program.
Yeah,
isn't
it is. Yes.
That's cool. So, when you have your puppy, what are you doing with your puppy? What's the reason you are a puppy raiser, and what do you do as a puppy raiser?
Your main job, besides some skills, the sit down, stay, come, heel, is to expose the dog to the world,
Okay.
to different noises and sounds and lights and people, and take them into places and take them as much as possible wherever you go.
Yeah. I've heard there's a lot of waiting. Like when a dog sees something and they stop and look at it, you have to kind of wait them out until they figure out that it's okay, or is that you sort of let them look at things and decide that they're okay, and
You
so they're
do.
not scared by it later, right?
Right, exactly. I mean, whether it's the walking bridge,
Yeah.
From Brunswick to Topsom, or just other dogs and squirrels and cats and everything that you can think of. And sometimes it's waiting when they're young and distance, to give them distance. And it's your job to also assess them while you're doing it to make sure you're not overwhelming that dog, but you're exposing the dog.
So how do you learn to do that?
There are so many volunteers
Yeah.
for Guiding Eyes
Is there training?
in the region. Yes, we have to take classes.
Okay.
The classes, when you first start, the first 10 weeks are once a week.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's twice a month.
Okay.
And you learn skills.
Yeah.
But Pat Weber, who's the manager in the region, she gets to lay her eyes on the dogs to see how you're doing, how the dog is progressing.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's good.
And the pay is great, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You doubled your pay this year over last year.
That's right.
Yeah.
0 and 0.
Yeah, I know. It's great. It's really awesome what you do as a puppy raiser because it is all donation. The dogs' veterinary bills are paid by the by Guiding Eyes for the Blind, but you buy the food and of course the travel time and things like that.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So as far as like the skills, you mentioned some of the skills you teach. You kind of went through them quickly, but like sit down, stay, getting the dog to connect with you, right?
So
And
connection.
make sure that they can connect with someone else.
Yes.
So a dog might go to another home. I think they have to go twice
They do.
during the 18 months to a different home for a couple of weeks to learn how to connect with someone else and learn different experiences, right? Is that?
Yes. So in a general way, you're trying to teach your puppy to be calm so they can connect with you, and that creates confidence in a puppy. And if they can do that with you and then transfer that skill over to a sitter or another raiser who just takes them for a walk, or just to be able to have those skills.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great, and it gives you a break too sometimes.
Yes.
Right?
Oh,
Little
that's
time
true.
off.
Yes,
Yeah.
a little bit.
So I always ask this during these interviews: is what the weirdest, nuttiest, most surprising thing that you found in doing what you do? So anything stick out in your mind that's been like surprising or interesting?
Yeah, I mean, there are several incidences of people when I have the dog and she has her coat on, that people come up to you and say, "Oh, I raised 30 years ago," or or they have some connection to Guiding Eyes, and or they have a relative who's blind, and it's always heartwarming to me to meet people who who
Have an experience.
Absolutely, yes, I love that.
Yeah, that's really cool. How would somebody get involved if they wanted to become a puppy raiser or a puppy sitter? Because I think you said earlier that the main region is always looking for more volunteers. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
So
yes.
what is the difference between a puppy sitter and a puppy raiser? Let's start with that.
Okay. So puppy sitter takes classes that teach them how to, do some of the skills like loose leash walking, and how we do our commands, so that when they do take a dog, that we're kind of not losing ground, we're keeping steady pace going forward for this dog. And they will sit 2 weeks for somebody, or somebody's going away for a weekend or whatever is needed. And then a raiser, so that's not a long-term commitment.
Okay.
It's in, a couple week blocks at the
And you find people
most.
might get into the program more by becoming a sitter at first.
Yeah, they can
and then
try
you'll-
it out that way just to see, how they feel about it.
And
Yeah.
then a puppy raiser, the difference is that they're going to be actually doing the training and the socializing and finding places to go. Is that?
And the long term,
Yeah.
we have that puppy for 16 months. Yeah. So that's the long commitment. Yeah.
So is there anything else about the program? I know we talked about the number of dogs that go through the program. In the show notes, there will be information about where you can go on guidingeyes.org, and we'll also have an email address for our puppy placement person, Janet Amberger, who does a great job of training, to be able to go there if you're interested in becoming a puppy raiser or a puppy sitter. And no obligation, but if you're interested, you can go there. Is there anything else about the program that we didn't go over? I know there's a ton of stuff, but anything that sticks out that people might want to know?
I would say two things for me. Okay. First of all, I didn't know how much I would enjoy teaching the skills that I've learned to new people. It's so fun and rewarding in its own way.
Oh, hold on. So you teach the skills to new people that have their own dogs, or people that are becoming puppy
raisers?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I really like that.
That's good.
Yeah, and then of course it's the lovely people there's I don't even know, 30 plus people who are volunteers, and they are the most lovely,
How are
lovely
you doing
people.
that now? You said something about when you get together to do with Pat Weber, the regional director, to be able to do this training.
Yes.
Well, do you do that still with COVID, or has that changed?
We do, but far apart,
Yeah.
outside,
Yeah.
and then you know, few people. That's a trick that her and Leanne have to figure out how to get that schedule for everybody.
And Leanne is the regional coordinator.
She's the regional coordinator.
So
Yes.
there are a few people that really
Oh,
are
yes.
helping you to do your job well. 'Cause that's
Absolutely.
You feel like the support is there.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
huge.
and that's always big in an organization, I would think, like this.
Yes.
Great. Well, I really appreciate your taking a few minutes just to talk about this. I know people love dogs, and
They do.
they love to learn about what happens with dogs, and this is a really important role. There are many guide dog organizations across the country. Guiding Eyes for the Blind is one of them,
Yes.
and one of the largest. And it's great that you do that, so thank you for doing that.
Oh, you're welcome.
And everybody out there, thanks for watching this. We appreciate it. And don't forget, today's the day. Don't dog it.